G'day, I'm Andrew Williams. I'm the new voice on the Squiz Today podcast. We're like Squiz Kids, but for grown-ups. We get you up to speed on the big stories of the day every weekday morning in just 10 minutes, helping you stay informed in an easy, bite-sized fashion. Just search Squiz Today wherever you get your podcasts.
Squiz Kids acknowledges the traditional owners of the lands on which we podcast, the Turrbal and Kombumerri people.
Squiz Kids!
It's your daily news fix. Fun, free, fresh.
Hello and welcome to Squiz Kids Today, your fresh take on what's happening in the world around you. I'm Bryce Corbett. It's Thursday, December 5. In Squiz Kids Today, hottest spring on record. Tassie ferry marooned in Scotland. Big selling baggy green, and beware the fake weather posts. That's what's making news, kids style.
The Lowdown.
If it feels like it's been unusually warm where you live over the past few months, that's because it has been. Official numbers from the Bureau of Meteorology, that's the weather forecasting people, were released yesterday showing that Australia had just experienced its hottest spring on record. On average, the temperature across the country was 2.5 degrees warmer than usual throughout spring. Warmer than spring has ever been since records started being kept back just over 110 years ago. And there's more heat to come. Now that we're officially in summer, the heatwave conditions that have swept large parts of the country are predicted to linger for a little bit longer. Poor Santa. I hope he's planning to pack his board shorts for when he gets down under. The most trusted brands for 2024 have been announced. And in what is perhaps no great surprise for anyone who gets dragged with their mum and dad to the hardware store on a weekend, Bunnings has come out on top. The hardware superstore chain was our most trusted brand for the year, followed by Aldi, Kmart, the car maker Toyota, and the computer phone shop Apple. Trust means that they are brands whose products we like, whose service we think is reliable for the most part, and who we feel doesn't rip us off as shoppers. And with every list of winners, there are also losers. According to the market research firm Roy Morgan, the least trusted brands for 2024 are Optus, Woolworths, Coles, Qantas, and Facebook.
Spin the globe.
Each day we give the world globe a spin and find a news story from wherever it stops. And today we've landed in Scotland. Again? Hang on, didn't we land there yesterday with Loch Ness? Must get that globe looked at over Christmas. Anyway, the reason we're in Scotland today is because a huge ferry that was built in the Scandinavian country of Finland to take passengers and cars and trucks from Melbourne to Devonport in Tasmania has had to take up residence in a port in Scotland because the port in Devonport in Tassie isn't yet big enough to receive it. Whoops-a-daisy. The brand new Spirit of Tasmania will sit in dock in Scotland, waiting for the wharves and jetties of Devonport to be upgraded to allow it to berth there. Berthing is fancy technical sailor talk for pulling up so passengers can get on and off a boat. As my father-in-law always used to say, failure to plan is planning to fail. Thanks, Grazza.
Sport time.
It's 76 years old, it's a little bit ragged at the edges and faded across the brim, but an old green hat has nevertheless sold at auction this week for almost $500,000. Why? And what did the hat have to do with sport? Well, that's because the hat is a baggy green, which is the hat Aussie cricketers wear when they are chosen to play for their country. And this particular baggy green belonged to one of the greatest batsmen Australia has ever produced, a bloke by the name of Don Bradman. Don't believe me? How about this? In a match once, Don Bradman scored 100 runs in only 3 overs. That is just nuts. I've stuck a link to some grainy old TV footage of Bradman in action in today's episode notes, in which the Don himself reveals the secret of being a good batsman, which is watch the ball and concentrate. If only it were that simple, Don.
News hounds.
Every Thursday, Squizzy the News Hound sticks his snout into Squiz Kids HQ to report back on fishy things he's sniffed out on the internet. And today, his nose is pointing to the skies and is twitching madly after coming across not one, but two crazy examples of misinformation spread on social media. The first one is a claim that the recent storms in Wales were caused by a secret high-frequency audio research facility in the countryside, which disturbed weather patterns sufficiently that it caused a massive storm that caused widespread flooding. Now, Squizzy has watched enough Stranger Things to sniff out something fishy, and in this case, it's a loopy conspiracy theory that people are sharing because they forgot to check whether the claim was true. The second equally nutso claim doing the rounds on social media is that the recent floods in Spain were caused by a secret program of cloud seeding. Cloud seeding is an actually real process whereby perfectly safe chemicals are put into the atmosphere by planes to create clouds and hopefully make it rain. Now kids, can I just say this to you once and hope you carry it through life hereafter? If you see or read or hear claims about secret government science labs or experiments causing all sorts of chaos, pull out your Newshound's magnifying glass and stop, think, and check, like Squizzy the Newshound does, before believing it. And if you, teachers out there, want your class to become better at spotting misinformation when they come across it online, join the more than 3,500 primary school classrooms who have already signed up to our free media literacy program, Newshounds. It's easy to do. The podcasts only take 10 minutes per session. There's a comprehensive teacher manual and an excellent student workbook, all waiting for you to download and use as a curriculum-aligned end-of-term activity. Just sign up at squizkids.com.au. And, as I said, it's totally free. You're welcome. Can you hear that? They're reindeer bells, and that means Christmas is just around the corner. Have you ever thought how cool it would be to chat to Santa? To actually have that big fella in red answer any and all questions you might want to throw at him? Well, we've pulled a few favours with a couple of elves we know, and we've pulled off something of a Christmas miracle. Yes, ladies and germs, presenting the first ever Squiz Kids Q&A with Santa Claus. He's very busy right now, but he's nevertheless agreed to take the Squiz Kids hot seat and answer any questions that you send in for him. If you've got a question you'd like Santa to answer, email it to us at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au. We'll choose the best dozen and put them to Santa himself. And thanks to our friends at Warner Brothers, just by sending in a question, you'll go into the draw to win a family pass to Movie World on the Gold Coast. How cool is that? So, don't just sit there, email through your question already. You've got until Monday, December 9.
Time for the quiz.
This is the part of the podcast where you get to test how well you've been listening. Question number 1. In which Scandinavian country was the Tassie ferry that is now docked in Scotland originally built? That was a bit of a tricky one, wasn't it? The ferry was built in Finland. Question number 2. How many degrees warmer on average was this spring compared to previous years for which records here in Australia have been kept? Did you say 2.5 degrees? You would be correct. Question number 3. Name the Aussie cricketer whose baggy green sold this week for almost $500,000. Well done to you if you said Don Bradman.
Shout outs.
It's Thursday, December 5. Only 20 sleeps until Christmas. Woohoo! It's also today the birthday of my daughter Rosie, whose voice you hear every morning in the Squiz Kids intro. Happy birthday to you, Rosie. And it's a special day, of course, for these Squiz kids celebrating a birthday today. Archer from Launceston, Willow from Lura, Miles from Old Bar, Isabel from Albany Creek, Tana Charat from Wentworth Point, and Lewis from Coolunga. And belated birthday shout-outs go to Olivia from Bracken Ridge, Bella from Richmond, and Oscar from Yass. And today's classroom shout-outs go to Class 5C with Ms Clark from Burwood Public School, Year 1 NASA with Mr Collier at Our Lady of the Way Primary School in Emu Plains, and Class 3TW with Mrs Williams at Belgrave Heights Christian School. Don't forget, if you've got a birthday coming up and you want a shout out, or if you're after a classroom shout out, drop us a line at squizkids@thesquiz.com.au or fill out the form on our website. And a reminder, if you celebrate a birthday over the Christmas break, send us your birthday shout out by Friday, December 13, and we'll make sure to include you in the weekly quizzes that will be going out each Friday of the school holidays. Well, that's all we have time for. Thanks for listening to Squiz Kids today. We'll be back again tomorrow with our Kids vs. Adult weekly news quiz. In the meantime, get out there and have a most excellent day. Over and out.